were telling me about this client you're working with about re-engaging resources.
Yes. Yes.
And I would love for you to tell me more because it sounded interesting.
I the amount of time, so people pay for email lists and you build up this list and then you're hoping for engagement. So, you're hoping to get good open rates. You want, people to click on things, read them, engage with you. The point of a mailing list is for engagement. And what I'm finding is that you often do the same thing. And I mean, I'm guilty of this too. You set up your newsletter or you set up the way that you write and talk to people, and you do the same thing week after week because you then get familiar with how to talk to your audience.
Mhm.
I think the problem comes with, and it's not about messaging. I'm not talking about content at all. It's really about people get so used to it, they kind of go, oh no, I'll read that later, or not really interested in that, and they forget you. It's that I don't know how many emails I've got in my inbox that I'm kind of like, oh, just I enjoyed it at the start, but it's kind of it feels repetitive. So I had a client that they were like, but we're paying all this money for our system, and it's not working for us. But I was saying, but you have to work with it. You can't just expect it to do the job for you. You actually have to come up with ways of re-engaging with people. And so I put together this plan, which was, you have this many thousands of people that haven't opened an email in however long, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. And so what do we give them? Because you have to give something. You can't just expect someone to go, "Oh yes, I love you telling me about your business all the time or what you're doing." You to re-engage people, you need to give them something to keep them thinking about what you're doing, something different, something exciting. Um, and so I've been looking at resources and a re-engagement plan for this client. Um, and the other thing was, I didn't want them to spend a lot of money on design and development, and then they get to details and the nuances of what the messaging is, and then it's like, oh, it's not really on brand, so we have to do all this work. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This is about people that aren't engaging with you. Don't spend a lot of money on something, do it when they've actually re-engaged with you and then give them the goodies. At this point, we're just saying, we've got something of interest for you. And what I had done with them was I went back to the website and I looked for the top post pages or the top pages that got so much traction. And one of them was from 2015, but it's still up there in their top 5 pages that people love to read. It's about erotica, so, pretty topical stuff. But I'm like, take the three was fun to,
Erotica is topical.
but it was so I said take the 3 top um pages that have something interesting on it. So and then create very basic resources from those pages. You've written all the text. Don't have to recreate the wheel. And so I've been doing that and then the email. So often what happens is you'll put an email out and you do the same thing. So I'm trying to do something that's very different, which is why I'm writing it, not them. Because what I didn't want to happen is for them to do the same thing they always do, which sometimes you need a different perspective to do that. And so I've been writing these I did the 3 resources and now I'm writing the 3 emails. And the idea is that I want people to click the button to download the resource because they're interesting. I mean, it's about books, so who wouldn't want a list of books, about erotica or, fantasy or banned books, that sort of thing. So I'm like, this is of interest to people. It's been at the top of the list for years. Let's do something on it. So what I found was we kind of get sidetracked by the commas and oh, this isn't good, or is that aligned, or oh, the space, I'm not happy with. It's just like,
Yeah, I
I
think
just need you to step back.
yeah, but I think we do this a lot just in general, right? Like we I think we sometimes do it in our own businesses as well because we're so close to it, right? Like you need the sometimes you need the person who's outside of it to help you with this because we get so distracted by it's a weird form of perfectionism, right?
Mm,
Like and also I think this is one that I discuss with people sometimes because they're like, but it's just so basic. And I'm like, it's basic to you because you
yeah.
have vast knowledge about this. But for people who don't have all of that knowledge, this tiny little crumb is very interesting. but it's hard to see that when for you it's like, yeah, but everybody knows that. No, not everybody knows that. That is the point. That is
Mm.
where you bring value. And I do the same thing with my own stuff where I'm like, well, this is not interesting at all because I
Mm.
know all of the stuff, all of the stuff around it. And I'm like, this is so basic. Everybody knows this. Nope.
And I'm getting frustrated with myself for this whole thing. And I'm like, why am I doing they don't understand when you're looking at re-engagement. And I'm tracking. So I'm looking at opens and clicks. That's my two things. If someone does not open it, they are not engaging at all, we've lost them. Like
Yeah.
this is the thing. And they're like, but our list will go down. And I was like, but what's the
Yeah.
point of paying for that person when they're not engaging anyway? Unless you're using that list as a sales thing about numbers. And then it's like, well, then you just have to button it up and stop complaining about the costs.
This is a
Like,
conversation I have had. I can't even count how many times because my list, when I did the collaborative magazine, my list wasn't huge, but it was
yeah.
very engaged. And so, but people are immediately, oh, you only have a couple of hundred people on it. And I'd be like, yeah, but like the open or the click rate was like 40%, which is
Ooh.
insane, right?
It's only 2 to 3%, by the way, if that. So, 4% is pretty good for a click rate.
Right. And
Yeah.
like and the open rates were also like off the charts. But
Yeah.
but it was because I wasn't just adding people to the list for the sake of adding people to the list. Right. And I think sometimes that conversation about quality and quantity, a lot of people skew to the quantity
Yeah.
of the number of people on a list rather than, but actually, are you engaging with those people? Are they actually consuming what you are sending them?
Mm.
Or are they just a vanity metric, right? I think that's really what we're talking about here is
Yeah.
like when we are communicating with our audience, are what are we really looking at? Are we just looking at can we reach as because sure you want to reach as many people as you can, but if you reach 100 people who have no interest in what you're doing, then I'd rather reach 10 people who have an interest in what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right?
I'm trying to re-engage with another client and a list of about 180,000 contacts. And they've had this list and they've been paying a lot of money for their email system. And I'm like, but do any of them engage with you at all? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm like, this is the thing. So I built it was a 22-week re-engagement. So I grouped them into 10,000 each, and then we sent them 2 emails. And the idea is if they didn't open the emails, then we're going to take them off completely. But about 300 to 400 of them have clicked and they've said, yes, I want, because we said flat out, do you want to be on this list? They had to click the button to then get back on the list. But about 300 to 400 of them have clicked that button. And I kind of said to my friend, that feels a bit low. And she said, no, 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 no. That is brilliant. That is 300 to 400 people that are going to actively engage with us again. Given that if we hadn't have done that, they might never have engaged with us again. So I'm like, okay, that is a positive. It feels so tiny. It's a tiny, tiny number. But she's right. If those people engage and then they come to the events that we're talking about and they're engaging in the community, then that benefits the community. And I'm like, okay, I see that. But of course, when you look at the numbers from where you started to where you ended up, you kind of go, well, that was disappointing. But I'm also going, but doesn't that save you a lot of money?